Hey, this is Brian. Thanks for watching Kies. In today's video, I'm super excited to show you how to install and use one of the coolest new products on the market. This is canDO Plus, and it allows you to hack your BMW to unlock its full potential. Let me show you what I mean. Now, if you're anything like me, every time I get in my G80, I set it up the exact same way. I want it on MDM mode. I want Sport Plus for basically everything. I want the M display and a few other odds and ends. But the car never remembers that setting. The funny thing is, my $100 TV from Walmart remembers the last channel that I watched, but my $100,000 BMW doesn't remember my last drive settings. But with canDO, we can now configure that so every time you start your car, it's in your ideal settings. But not only that, it doesn't stop there. We also give you the ability to hijack existing buttons in your car. It reminds me from back in the day when people were jailbreaking iPhones, which was a little bit risky. This plug and play, 100% reversible without a trace. Let's jump in the car. I'll show you how to install it and some basics on how to use it. All right, to install it, the first thing you're going to need is a small trim tool. What you're going to do is start by opening the armrest right here, and then take your trim tool, and you want to very carefully pry between the plastic and whether you have carbon or you have plastic trim, and this is going to pop out just like this. So as you can see, there's just two of these metal clips that hold this into place. Then what you're going to do, take your trim tool under here and very carefully just start to lift up. Again, start to lift up like that, and then just navigate the front out as well. Now, sometimes the front tabs will fight you a little bit. If that happens, what you want to do, there's these little tabs that you can release from the top with a pick tool. There we go, just like that. So these are the two stubborn clips. Sometimes these will get a little bit stuck. What you do, I know it was really hard for you guys to see what I was doing. I reached in from behind just like this, and I pressed in on this little tab, and then I was able to release one and then the other. All right, so once you're here, you're going to notice these 4 T20s. So at this time, you can release these screws. So once you've done that, you just very carefully lift up on this, and underneath, you're going to see this connection over here under your iDRIVE controller. So just disconnect this like that. Take your plug and play harness, and this is going to go into the female side over here. Just click it in just like that until it clips into place. Then you can take the canDO Plus and plug that in with one of the connections. And then with the other connection, plug it in to the bottom of the iDRIVE controller where you removed the other one. Okay, make sure everything is clipped in nice and tight. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to just put this down here. I'm going to just zip tie it, just make sure it doesn't move. And then everything with the canDO Plus is going to be fully installed. Then you can reinstall the 4 T20 screws. Okay, then you can take the carbon trim, just center it and click it into place, just like that. Then with this plastic piece, there are these little clips. They just line up into the groove, so just slide the bottom in first, rock that in, and everything is now fully installed. Now, when it comes to configuring the canDO Plus, it is super cool the way they design this. You can use your phone, whether it's an Android or an iPhone. So I'm gonna show you how to do it on an iPhone. The way that you're going to connect is the device in here will actually send out its own internal Wi-Fi network. So if you go into your Wi-Fi settings, you're going to see canDO, you're going to click it, and then the password is canDO BMW. And that's all lowercase, just to clarify. Then what you're going to do, I like to use Chrome. You're going to navigate to 10.10.10.1. And here is our secret canDO interface. How cool is that? Doesn't matter what device you have. You can even do it on a laptop if you want. It is super easy. So over here, we have to go through all of the disclaimer and hit agree. The other thing you're noticing too, all of the power and everything for the unit is totally controlled by that plug and play harness. There's no external everything. So if you ever need to remove it or anything, it literally removes without a trace. All right, I'm gonna show you this in landscape because on a phone, it's a little bit easier to see. Up at the top, you have associations. That's where you can do all of your configurations. Like when I start the car, I want M mode, I want my screen to change, and I want the ambient color to be red in my car. That's where you're going to do all of that. Over here, there's also built-in CAN sniffing functionality. These are all the CAN signals that are being sent through the car right now. You can actually do custom configuration on your own if you like, because they give you a super powerful tool to do that. And then there's also a tab in here where there's also some additional settings. If you ever need to do any kind of firmware update, it's all through this app, through this software. You don't have to take it out of the car, hook it up to a computer, none of that. It is all totally wireless and amazing. So let's start by configuring this car so that when we start it, it starts with all of my desired presets. So over here, you can see, if you click this menu here, these are all of the different options for the trigger. So for this one, I just want it to be engine start. Then over here, what I want to do is I first want to put a 1 second delay. And basically this just gives the car time to do its initial startup process, and it's not going to interfere with any of that. So once you do that, I'm going to hit associate. And over here, you can see under when I start the engine, I have now a 1 second delay, and then I want the car to go in engine sport plus. I want it to have chassis sport plus. I want the steering in sport. I want the brakes in sport. I want mDRIVE four-wheel drive sport. I want DSC MDM. Look, you can even mess with the radio settings and all of that as well. I want my cluster display to be in M sport mode. And those are basically the settings that I want to apply every single time I start this car. So all you need to do, there's a little disc up here. You just hit that button and that's going to save everything to the car, and it happens pretty much instantly. So I just like to give the car a couple seconds, and then let's start it up and let's see if everything applies. Okay, you can see the car is totally off. Car starts up. All right, and as you can see, I have my M display. I have it in MDM mode, four-wheel drive sport. And let's go over here to the setup. Look at that. All these are already pre-configured, and I literally didn't have to do anything else. The cool thing, just like your TV from Walmart, everything is going to automatically keep these settings. So when I start the car next time, everything is going to be there. Now, after you start the car, say you want to go into your normal M1 button, if you press that, it's going to put you in whatever settings you normally have for M1 and M2. So it's not even necessarily just making it go to M2, because even if you press 2, although it's going to configure a lot of the traction control and all of that, nothing changes the display but the button over here. So it gives you hidden functionality, which the car should come with from the factory. All right, so now that we did a super easy one, let's do a customized one so that you guys can see some of the basic functionality on how the system operates. What I'm going to do is I am going to use the back touch button. When you're in here, you're going to notice that a lot of these will say touch, press, and then long press. And that's because with the haptic buttons, literally if you just tap it, that's going to be an operation. If you press it, that's going to be basically BMW's normal operation. And if you long press it, there's additional functionality. But the thing is, with the touch and the long press, they're not assigned by BMW, and that's where we can have some fun. So let's go in to the settings here. Here you go. Let's use the M drift analyzer. So let's make it so when we tap the back button, which as you can see, when I do now, it literally just does nothing. And let's make it use the drift analyzer. This should be a pretty easy one to do. So over here on the left side, I'm going to do back touch, and then it's always a good idea to have a little delay. Then I want to hit the home button, make sure that it's on home. So if I'm on a different screen, it always brings it back to home before it does my command. Okay, so I'll do home press, associate. I'm also going to put in another 100 millisecond delay in between the commands so it doesn't do them all at once and then just have nothing happen. So from there, I want to make sure that the controller is on the left menu. So what we're going to do, we're going to go in here, controller left, associate. I'm going to add in a 1 second delay, add that, and then I want one final controller press. I'm gonna hit associate, I'm gonna save it, and when I tap the back button, it should not only navigate to this analyzer mode, the drift analyzer, but it should launch the program as well. Let's see if it works. All right, look at that. So how cool is this? You can literally set up your car to do anything. So as you just saw, we are just scratching the surface of what canDO Plus is capable of doing. Because they allow you to literally track your iDRIVE controller, you can literally assign any of your buttons to basically do anything that's buried in the iDRIVE system. So maybe you want to look at your tire pressure, maybe you want to look at vehicle status. You have the functionality to not only do what they've pre-configured, but you can also do totally custom things, which is awesome, and it's super super powerful. Now, while we installed the canDO Plus on Miguel's G80 M3 today, it does work on any car with iDRIVE 8, and we're working on additional functionality for older and newer vehicles. So if you have any questions on if your car is compatible, or maybe you get stuck and need a little bit of help, just email my team. We have all the information for the canDO Plus and also support down listed in the description below. Once again, my name is Brian. Thanks for watching Kies. If you like today's video, give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. Check us out at kies.com, Kies.com, and let us know down in the comments below what you would program in your car with a canDO Plus. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.